Thank you for joining us again for Let the Bible Speak. Again, if there's anything we can do to help you in your study of God's Word, we encourage you to take advantage of the numbers at the bottom of the screen, 843-553-5157. That's 843-553-5157. We'll continue looking at John's writing. We're in 3rd John today. And in chapter 1, John talks about a man by the name of Gaius. And this man had a reputation. And I want us to talk about that just a little bit. This will be part 1 of what will probably be at least a 3-part lesson, because we're going to look at 3 individuals. And we start with this man Gaius that shows up in the text there in 3rd John chapter 1. John begins this letter. He says, to the beloved Gaius, verse 2, he says, beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prosper. For I rejoiced greatly when brethren came and testified to the truth that is in you, just as you walk in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in the truth. And so what John says is, look, there are people who come in contact with you, and they've seen your manner of life. They've seen your conduct. And as a result, they came back and reported, or it may be by happenstance, but John got the report. So this man Gaius is a man who walks in the truth. There are a lot of people out there today profess to be Christians, profess to be godly, profess to be religious, just the right circumstance, just the right situation. And you find out there's a lot of things wrong. Well, they say the wrong things. They do the wrong things. Someone cuts them off in traffic. Then they have some words for a person. May do some things that's just completely ungodly. And they have a reputation too. But this man Gaius doesn't seem to be like that. This man seems to be a man who walks it like he talks it. And John is encouraging him because he's gotten word, or he's received word, that this man walks in truth. And by doing that, by having such a reputation that is true, that it has an impact on a person. John says in verse 4, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. No greater joy. Are we people who give others joy because of what they hear about us? Because of the manner in which we conduct ourselves as we profess to be students of the scriptures? As we profess to be God-fearing people? Although there are many people listening that make this profession, but the things that are said about them as a result of their reputation says some things that, may not bring another person joy. And I have to examine myself that way. Notice now verses 5 through 7. John says, beloved, you do faithfully whatever you do for the brethren and for strangers, and who have borne witness of your love before the church. If you send them forward on their journey in a manner worthy of God, you will do well. And so he talks about Gaius as a man who's really been given to hospitality. He helped folks out. People were strangers, as it were. They were Christians, but they were strangers on the way. It took time, took some of his resources, and he provided for them. And that word got out. They bore witness. They gave testimony about the kind of man that Gaius is. And so for part 1 of our lesson, we're looking at reputation from the perspective of a good reputation. What is your reputation? Is it a good one? That is something that we have to think about. If you'd like to study this more, or you have other questions, you want Bible materials, give us a call, 843-553-5157. We'll see you next time.